Hi, today I'm reviewing Perfectly Confident by Don Moore. I want to start with a simple question. Have you ever been completely sure about something like an exam answer, a group project plan, or even your own ability, and then realized that you were wrong? I think most of us have that kind of experience, so that's exactly why this book is so useful. The central topic of this book is confident, not that kind of confident in usual self-help sense. Moore argues that confidence shouldn't come from feelings or motivation. Instead, it should be calibrated from evidence and reality. More and the goal is to become accurately confident. That is what he calls being perfectly confident, or having well-calibrated confidence between overconfidence and underconfidence. I think this book is very useful for organizational behavior students. In OB, we study how people think, behave, and make decisions for organizations. Confidence is very important for these areas. It shapes how people speak in teams, how leaders make decisions, and how others judge competence. That's why this topic matters for students who may later work in teams, manage others, or take leadership roles. The first important lesson I learned is that more confident is not always better. Before reading this book, I thought confident is a kind of positive thing. And we often hear that confident people do better in their life and work. But this book shows that too much confidence can be dangerous. It can make people ignore risks, overestimate their ability, and make poor decisions. At the same time, too little confidence can also be harmful because it stops capable people from speaking up or taking opportunities. So the real goal is balanced and realistic confidence. This changed my thinking because I used to believe people simply need more confidence, but now I see that confidence needs to match reality. The second lesson is that overconfidence is not just one simple problem. In this book, I understand that people can be overconfident in different ways. For example, like they may think they performed better than they actually did. They think they're better than others, or very sure about the decisions they're making. This gave me a new way to think about mistakes in decision making. Before reading this book, I treated overconfidence as a general issue. Now I understand that it can appear in different forms, especially in teams and workplaces. The third lesson of this book I learned is that good judgment needs practice and reflection. One of the most useful ideas in this book is that confidence can be improved through habits such as checking evidence, reflecting on mistakes, and questioning your own assumptions. Before I read this book, I think confidence is mostly part of people's personality, but now I think it can be also improved and managed. That insight is important because it means better judgment is a skill, not just a personality trait. Now I want to discuss two critiques of this book. My first critique is that most of the advice in this book sounds easier in theory than in practice. The book encourages readers to be more objective and better calibrated, but these can be hard for students or young workers who do not have experience yet. Sometimes people simply do not have enough information or feedback to judge accurately. I think the book can be improved, including some simple step-by-step examples for students and early career readers. And my second critique is that The book focuses more on individual than on the team and organizational context. This is a limitation for OB students because in the real workplaces, confidence is shaped by hierarchy, culture, and group dynamics. Sometimes people seem underconfident because they are in an intimidating environment. At the other times, the highly confident people can influence the whole team even when they are wrong. So I think the book could be stronger if it included more discussion about meetings, teamwork, or leadership in organizations. Based on this book, I would give 3 practical pieces of advice to other OB students. First, reflect on your predictions. Before an exam or presentation or a group assignment, ask yourself, how do you think it will go? And then compare to the actual results later. You will see whether you are usually too optimistic or too doubtful. Second, do not confuse confidence with competence. In group work, the most confident person is not always the capable person. So instead of following the strongest voice immediately, pay attention to evidence, logic, and preparation. Third, get into a habit of questioning yourself. Before making decisions, ask yourself what supports your view and what you might be missing. This doesn't mean becoming insecure. It means becoming more thoughtful and make better decisions. To conclude, Perfectly Confident is a valuable book because it challenges the common sense that more confidence is always better. Instead, it shows that best kind of confidence is accurate confidence. My 3 main lessons were that confidence needs balance. Overconfidence can take different forms, and good judgment requires practice. My 2 critiques were that some advice is harder to apply than it sounds, and the book could focus more on team and organizational dynamics. Finally, my 3 practical recommendations are to reflect your own predictions, separate confidence from competence, and question your own assumptions. Overall, I would recommend this book to organizational behavior students because it's very relevant to teamwork, leadership, and decision making. Thank you.